Hello, everyone. I'll try to get this right from the start. I'm Dan Ruther. I marched at 86 to 89, some very good years, 1.5 championships, 2.5 championships. And I had a great time with the Corps since I was 16 years old. Quickly, I'll start a little story here. Back in the summer of 2002, the DCI announced that they were going to have their first ever Big, Loud, and Live movie theater. 60 movie theaters across the country that were showing the Big, Loud, and Live. About 5 years prior to that, my wife Christine, who I met with the Corps, been married for 35 years now, we moved across the country. We left the East Coast. We left all of our friends and family, and certainly all of our drum corps friends, back on the East Coast, and we moved to Las Vegas. And we were seeking a better life, a little cheaper life, and a good job for me. So everything worked out pretty well there. And then this summer of 2002 happened, and we realized we hadn't really paid attention to drum corps in quite a long time. Maybe we would notice who won DCI that year or DCA, but we really didn't pay much attention. So when the announcement came that they were going to show semifinals in the movie theaters, let's get tickets and go see some DCI. I hadn't seen it in a long time. So we get the tickets, and on my way out the door to go to the movie theater, I said, you know what, I think I still have my Sunriser jacket in the closet. And sure enough, it was hanging there by itself, hadn't been worn in a long time. They seem to shrink a little bit over there. So I grab the jacket, we get in the car, we drive over to the movie theater. And keep in mind, this is Las Vegas, and it's August, and I've got a jacket. So I put on the jacket as we got in the car, and we walk into the movie theater, and sure enough, plenty of other jackets. I didn't think there would be many, but there are Santa Clara jackets, and Madison jackets, and Blue Devil jackets, so it was a community right away. But we didn't know anybody. We were living out there by ourselves on our own. And we walk into the movie theater, I grab a box of popcorn and a soda, walking over to our seats. And the guy walks up to me, taps me on the shoulder as I'm walking to my seat. And he says, hey, I saw your jacket. Do you know Frank Ponzo? Yeah, I know Frank Ponzo. He was my best man. So it's amazing that we were still able to be in the community, even though we weren't really in the community anymore. So here's the thing. Frank's not here tonight. He couldn't make it. But he gave me a few things to read. I won't hopefully take up too much time. A few pages that he gave me to read for him. That didn't go over as well as I thought it was going to. See if I can get this. But to make it a little more lifelike, if you're friends with Frank Ponzo on Facebook, he tends to show himself thusly. So here's Frank. Everything I have here right now that I'm going to be saying is directly his words. So I'm not altering it in any way. First, I would like to offer my apologies for not being able to make it tonight. It just wasn't in the cards this year, but I do hope to make one again in the future. Thank you, Dan, for nominating me and accepting this honor on my behalf. Can you believe we have been friends for almost 40 years? Thank you also to the selection committee for believing in me and recognizing my time in the Sunrisers. I am truly and deeply honored to accept this distinctive achievement. Also, congratulations to all my fellow inductees this year. I have been blessed to know most of you and even marched with you, but one of you I consider like a little brother to me. Jeff, you are awesome. And all these years later, I still feel a special bond with you. Congratulations today and on all the accolades that have been given to you. I am proud of you beyond words. What an amazing career you have had. During the 1981 season, I was in a local Long Island parade corps where Nick Jaworski was our horn instructor. I was thinking about joining a senior corps to gain some experience and further my playing abilities. He talked me into coming to a rehearsal the corps was having at Holy Trinity High School in Hicksville on a Sunday afternoon that summer, maybe a week before DCA championships. I watched the corps intently, recording the run-through at the end of rehearsal on my Sony Walkman. I went home, listened to that recording every day, and tried to learn some of the parts on my soprano. I started college in the fall of 1981 and met Mike Fitzpatrick. I recognized him right away from being the mellophone player in the duet in Late in the Evening. We started talking and he convinced me to come to a rehearsal. Scared and nervous, I joined the Sunrisers in the fall of '81 at the first rehearsal of the year for the '82 season. The corps was handed new music from Screech. God Save the Queen was going to be the opening of the show in 1982, as well as Folk Song Suite. I was handed the fourth soprano parts to all the new music, as well as the 1981 show, which we played at end of rehearsal. I went home and practiced my butt off. I came to the next rehearsal a few weeks later, having all the music memorized. We were now rehearsing for a Jets game that was going to be at Shea Stadium, the last game of the year and the last football game ever held at Shea. We rehearsed the morning of the football game in the parking lot of Shea Stadium, where the temperatures and wind chill had to be minus 10 degrees. To say it was cold in the middle of December was an understatement. Fred Sasso told me to stick with the drum line, and Larry Visconti guided me up and down the 50-yard line to the end of the snare line. Just follow along. Wherever they go, you go. Well, my valves stuck. I couldn't play a note, and I got lost at least 3 times, but it was fun nonetheless. I missed the next 2 rehearsals because of schoolwork, but I received a handwritten letter. This says via snail mail, but I work for the post office. I can't call it that. From Screech. Handwritten letter from Screech. In that letter, he explained how much he appreciated me being there at the few rehearsals I was at, learning the music and being a 100% team player while I was there. But he also went on to explain what it meant to be held accountable, being part of the team, and all about commitment, and how missing rehearsals were not helping the overall success of the drum corps. That letter set me on a path to becoming more focused, not only on my schoolwork, but also on being part of a team that relied on their membership. I was at the next rehearsal, and I didn't look back. I owe my entire senior career to John Arietano because of that letter. Thank you, John. I stayed with the corps for the '82 and '83 seasons, and was fortunate enough to be part of 2 DCA championships. I didn't march in '84, came back in 1985, after watching the corps at a stage show on Long Island, where they debuted Adventures on Earth for the very first time. It was so different from what everyone else was playing, and I knew I needed to be a part of that. I was hooked again, and was at the very next rehearsal. The winter of 1986 was tough. A new horn instructor, Mike Londo, came on board with a totally new show. Fiddler on the Roof, my first show. But the corps struggled with their membership. I remember us going through the winter with a maximum of 15 horns at most rehearsals. But the corps needed a soloist, and I took a chance and played one. I guess Mike liked what I did. Even with 15 horns, we broke up in sections, and he needed someone to help teach. He asked me to work with the high brass while he worked with the low brass. The staff got to work and had a pretty rough year, but put on a very impressive show at the end of the year, even after changing drill up until the week prior to championships. If only we had 2 more weeks. I met Tim and Donna Campbell that year, and they became my closest friends in the corps in the following years. I stayed on the brass staff and was honored to be a soloist until my last year in 1989. I left the corps after the '89 season. There was a lot going on behind the scenes that I knew too much about, and I honestly did not want to be part of it. 1990 was a rebuilding year for the Sunrisers, and they were good, and I cried the first time I saw them in '90. But for me, I knew I made the right decision. After 25 years in another organization, I came back to the Sunrisers in 2016. Dave Hobart asked me to be a part of the brass team as a consultant, where I got to work with Joe Sittler and Dave Abrams, 2 people I respect more than they probably know. I met Tom Lazat, another consultant, and met our horn arranger, J.G. Shaw, a week prior to championships. He wrote a fantastic book, and I was truly honored to work with them all and give back to the corps the knowledge I gained over almost a 40-year drum corps career. That career includes being a charter member of the Buglers Hall of Fame in 2005, the New Jersey Drum Corps Hall of Fame in 2006, and the World Drum Corps Hall of Fame in 2014. Inducted all years as a member of the Sunrisers. Having the honor of being inducted into the Sunriser Hall of Fame bestowed on me is icing on the cake of a long drum corps career. I would like to thank my parents for, first of all, allowing me to be part of the Sunrisers and putting up with all the missed family gatherings, except when I had to clean the pool each year. Tommy Martin for being a true mentor to me over my career, Mike Londo for taking a chance on me and believing in me, and once again, John Aritano for setting me on a path. You have all been an important part of my life, and I cannot thank you all enough for being a part of this amazing journey. I also must give thanks to some of the Sunrisers soloists who have influenced me and my playing, John Aritano, Dave DeAndrea, and Matty Balls. Each time I played a solo, whether it be with the Sunrisers or that other corps, I took a piece of you with me. I hope in some small way I have made you proud to represent the Sunrisers and follow in your legacies. Thank you.